Welcome, everybody, and thanks for joining us. My name is Lana Wheel. I'm Atto's Program Manager, and I'm here with Kate Kendall, Atto's founder, and we're here to talk to you about our brand new program, the Atto Accelerator 2022. It's a brand new program, and it's focused on product. We are looking for female founders who already have an MVP, a digital product, a tech-enabled business. They've got something online already, and they're looking to take that to the next level. So it's a 12-week program kicking off at the end of August, and we're open for applications right now. So to kick us off, Kate, please tell us, how is this program different to the previous accelerators that Atto has run?
Thanks so much, Lana, and great intro there with the information. So as people probably know, we've been running now accelerator programs since 2019. So this is actually going to be, I think, our fifth program. And over the last couple of years, we've really taken all the feedback and insights and looked at how we've supported over 100 female founders to know what are people really struggling with. And I think a lot of programs, people think they want, oh, I want to learn all about hiring, or I need to raise money, all these things. But really the most important thing that everyone needs to crush in their startup is just their product traction with customers. And so it always comes back to, do you have a product that people want? And that's why we've refined our programming for this to really focus on just making sure that you've got product market fit, making sure that you really understand what your customers want. And then when you're in that place of strength, then you can go on to, let's talk about growth marketing. Let's talk about how to get fundraising ready. Let's talk about how you could put together your early hiring strategy. But first of all, before you do all of that, you really have to have a great product.
Amazing. Thanks, Kate. And I think that is missed out on a lot of programs as well. They talk a lot about mindset. They talk a lot about marketing, external things. But again, if you don't have a great product, then it's really hard to get traction. And then if you do have a great product, often that can do the marketing for you because it is so fantastic and people want it. So this accelerator is all about growth. It's all about your digital product, and it's a little bit about pitching at the end as well. And at Atto, we're all about focus, accountability, and clarity as well, because we always want to empower female founders to take those little actions to keep going on their startup journey as well. And Atto is actually a metric as well that talks about the small actions add up to really big steps. So at the end of the 12-week program, what can founders expect and what should they be looking forward to at the end of the program, Kate?
So I think going through the program, you're going to get a bunch of things during the program as well as after the program. But really, I think the first thing, you've mentioned accountability, but going through the program and meeting a like-minded cohort, having that structure, it is online, as we've mentioned. So just being able to go, okay, what do I want to achieve over these next 12 weeks? And what do I want to end up with? And a lot of that is really understanding your customer. I mean, a lot of people have done many interviews and surveys and things like that with their customer, but they still struggle to then get that initial traction. So really understanding what product market fit is and what that means for your startup will be key at the end of it. Also having a clear product roadmap and operational roadmap for when you leave Atto. So that might be, the next 6 to 12 months mapped out to go, here's what I'm going to be focused on. Here's what I want to achieve and things like that. Also, just really understanding the concept of growth and really how you should be operating from a growth mindset at all times in your startup. So that would be picking a North Star metric or a KPI that you really want to move forward with and kind of hone down on and go, okay, this is what's going to move our business forward. And so that includes creating a metrics dashboard and just really getting to the culture of checking that daily and setting, weekly, monthly goals to achieve. Learning how to tell your startup story. This is something that a lot of founders just struggle with. What do investors actually want? How to pitch their idea in the right kind of way, in a big, ambitious way. And that's something that we've always got feedback on Atto from, founders come week one and they've got some sort of focused small idea for their business, but we talk about how big could this actually be, and then how can we break it down into achievable steps. So really understanding how to pitch investors, look at different types of startup storytelling methods and things like that. And then just all in all, knowing what you want after Atto Accelerator. That might be to, run an equity crowdfunding campaign. It might be to look at Atto angel investment or other angel opportunities. It might be to focus on hardcore customer acquisition and looking at your startup marketing costs. So it's unique for you, but we really want to help founders put the kind of, accelerate, get going and really get to the next steps, which is why we've specifically designed it for a certain type of founder, which we'll talk about shortly too.
Yes, I love that you said that as well about the product roadmap, because I think that's something that founders miss a lot of the times as well. They have a really big vision and they want to build a platform with 100 features, but they struggle to focus on what's the one thing that they should build first to prove that the customers want it and are willing to pay for it, and then the next features then before they build the whole shebang. So yes, who should apply for this program? We are looking for founders who have a product live already, but Kate, tell us more about who should apply for this program and who it would be perfect for.
So we've, over the last couple of years, or I should say just this year alone, we've started to segment our programs. So if you've already gone through a program like Atto Aspire, which was literally taking your idea to create an MVP or do those initial, surveying or create a domain name, Atto Accelerator is the next step. So that would be, the best next step for your company. If you're a founder that already has, maybe a lean MVP, or you've kind of you're already live, but you kind of need to maybe evolve your product more, you want to pursue a new pathway, or you've kind of got something that's domain name and landing page, but you haven't yet started to really scope out your product, Atto Accelerator is going to be a good program for you. If you've kind of already got a product live and you think that that's the best product ever and you don't need to change anything or alter anything, and you're going to go just sail off into sunset and raise money and your product's perfect, Atto Accelerator isn't for you. It's definitely a program that will help you reevaluate where you're at, where your product's at. We have mentioned digital product businesses, but we are open to all types of product businesses. We have people that have run bubble tea club startups and vitamin startups and things like that. And where Atto can help is just scaling that product. So we do think about products as multifaceted, but it's all about tech-enabled startups. So you might have companies that are selling luggage or things like that, but it's really about how they're using software to scale.
Yes, we do have a few alumni in our a few founders in our alumni that you can check out at atto.vc/startups. There's over 100 founders in our alumni now, and quite a few of them have created, as Kate said, e-commerce or direct-to-consumer startups as well. So we're looking for founders who might have a marketplace, a SaaS business, a direct-to-consumer business, or a education like a membership or a courseware business as well. So it's all relying on technology to scale rather than being like a consulting one-on-one type of business model where it's all reliant on somebody's time. And we've had founders who have come through a wide range of industries as well. So there's been a few in beauty, a few in sustainability, quite a few in the SaaS and productivity tools. And we're really interested in the future of work and also issues that focus on women as well and support women and families. So tell us about the application, Kate. How long is it? And there's also a video component, which we'll talk about too. But when you're getting your application together, what should founders think about?
I think the good thing about the application is it shouldn't be too long or hard to complete. It should really be stuff that you already know that you could sit down and potentially, fill it out in 15 to 20 minutes. So it doesn't have to be perfect. The important thing is getting the application in and also just reviewing information before you submit an application, and just make sure that you're applying for the right program that's right for you and reviewed things. In terms of the video, it's really just a way to, show that you are able to be digitally savvy and get be comfortable to at least start talking to people. So it's not meant to be amazing. It's not meant to be high quality video production. You're not meant to be the best person ever to pitch. You don't have to look fully polished and glamorous. It's nothing like that. It's literally just a way for you to go on, talk about why you're passionate about, what you're working on, why it's important, what help you're looking for, and just satisfy the brief of the video. It's a private video, so this is not meant to be something that is public. It can be unlisted. It's just for the Atto team to review. But the video is important because part of running a startup is that you have to talk to customers. And I think if you're afraid to put your face to a startup, or you put your face out there and talk to people, and of course, we understand accessibility. Not all people will be in a position to do that, just jump on. So we'll have other methods too, but you just have to be able to put yourself out there. And it is frightening, and it is, it can be challenging when you're not used to doing that, but it's all part of it. At the end of the program, we do have a demo day, which is another opportunity for people to get up and tell their story in their startup showcase. So again, it's just all part of, if you want to run a startup, you have to get comfortable for putting yourself out there, and the video is a small test to go through that. So don't be alarmed and don't spend too long on it. You know, you can literally record it on your iPhone sitting outside or wherever, in your car. We've had people record them in all sorts of places. So the important thing is just getting it done.
Yes, getting it done is better than perfect. And as we say, this is an application to get you in a program to take you to the next level. We're not completely judging you, and we're not picking the best winner from these videos as well. And it's kind of heartbreaking how many female founders struggle or, you know, are worried about the video component as well. And as we say, we're very approachable people. So if you have any questions about it, feel free to reach out, but it shouldn't be overly complicated. I would recommend having 2 or 3 takes, and after that, just submitting what you've got there as well. So you can find out more about the application form at atto.vc/apply. And in there, we ask you about why you're passionate about your story, how you make money, and then that's where you submit the video as well. And I just wanted to highlight that there's some crazy studies where women don't apply for jobs or programs if they don't reach 90% of the criteria, whereas men will apply when they only reach 50. So women definitely hold themselves to really high standards to reach 90% of the goals before they even put themselves forward for opportunities as well. And we want to break that down and say, you don't have to be perfect. It just has to be done, and you have to apply. And again, if you have anything additional that you'd like to include with your application, feel free to just contact us and we can talk it through. I also just wanted to touch on the support female founders need in general. So Kate, you've been mentoring female founders for, I think, more than a decade or so now. And we have hundreds and so many founders who have come through our programs and through our community as a whole. What kind of support do female founders need?
Well, I think that's a really great question. And it's something that, you know, is at the heart of Atto as well, in that we have, you know, a space that is for women to come together and build startups. You know, there's a lot of programs that are kind of gender agnostic. And that's something that we continually ask ourselves, do women need their own space? And we do think so, because there's so much that goes on with different commitments, different things that, you know, burdens and all these kind of things that we have to just juggle with. And so even the type of flexible programming that we look at, not everything's, you know, 5 o'clock beers in the evening and things like that. It's all been designed with access in mind and that uniqueness. And we have a great post on the blog as well about you know, the importance of female founder focused accelerators. So I definitely recommend checking that out. And really, I think when you have that busy environment, and when you have so many commitments, and you're still so passionate about what you build, what you're building and what you want to achieve, it's about the accountability and the support and the structure then to make that reality. And so that's a lot of things that I do in my coaching. There's a lot of coaching components of the program, but it's really about breaking things down, knowing what to focus on when, not getting too distracted or not getting too, you know, worried that you're not doing the right thing at the right time. So it's just about breaking goals down, making sure you're getting those wins, you're getting that traction. A lot of it's, you know, mindset support as well. Also the peer-to-peer network of Atto has always been very popular. A lot of people just love knowing that they're going through this together with other people that have similar struggles and similar experiences. And then other support is just, you know, looking at what those next steps would be after Atto and how we might help you with funding, or looking at different alternative funding options, or even just championing the bootstrapping indie way to just help you get to that next level. So the support doesn't stop after Atto ends, it almost begins then. And we have various different pathways that we can continue to support founders then too.
Amazing, Kate. Yes. So as we've said, it's a 12-week program. Every second week, we're going to have masterclasses online. And then there is coaching with Kate as well. There's access to office hours with some experts. And then it's all in preparation for the demo day at the end. So you can pitch your startup story, share the progress that you've made, and then outline your next steps for your product as well. So it's all about growth. It's all about making your product ideally reach product market fit. And Kate, I was just wondering if you could end on what has been some success stories you can touch on from people who have completed Atto programs.
Yeah, so we have we don't pick favorites because every single founder that goes through Atto, I truly believe in and think they're amazing and can succeed. Uh, but we have had some founders that have kind of really made it happen. And one of them actually is from the first batch. So 2019 is always Aerobe. So Aerobe has now raised a couple of million in funding. And they're starting to hire, they've recruited amazing people, really changing the world when it comes to circular economy, marketplace. Another standout is always Bubble Tea Club, in just that, you know, traditionally investors might look at bubble tea and say this isn't a fast growth tech startup, but they've been able to grow just incredibly over the last couple of years, including during the pandemic. With 60,000 customers, they did 1.6 million equity crowdfunding raise on Virtual, and also got $400,000 in the Boosting Female Founder Grant, as did Aero. But I also love just long-term sustainable success studies like Coffee Roulette. So it's a matchmaking platform for professionals, and they've now facilitated over 300,000 connections. And I think Hillary's company is just going to go on to more and more success and great enterprise customers as well. And then additionally, we've had, NFT companies like Cool Points Club start to change the world with climate action campaigns. And then also alumni like websites who just even through simple increases in her pricing as she's gone through Atto made her become profitable. So there's just incredible amounts of, I think, companies in every batch that are just doing interesting things and that are worth watching. And if you'd like to kind of speak to any of them or find out, you can always go to atto.vc/startups and see the full portfolio there. We're incredibly transparent when it comes to who goes through Atto programs and all of that. So it's not hidden, it's all public on the website. So feel free to reach out to them and ask for their honest opinion on Atto.
Yeah, so as Kate said, you can find them at atto.vc/startup. Their websites are there, their social media is there, so you could reach out to them on LinkedIn if you would like to chat to them and hear about more of their experience as well. And yes, it's amazing the range of startups that we get through the programs as well. Kate just mentioned marketplaces, e-commerce business, NFTs, climate change businesses as well. And we've got some really exciting ones about the future of work and mental health coming out as well really soon. They're about to launch. So as we've said, we're very approachable as well. If you have any questions at all, please reach out to us at hello@atto.vc, and we're more than welcome to, we're more than happy to answer any questions that you have as well. Just a final thought, Kate. How is Atto different? Because we don't take equity from startups as well in these accelerator programs. So there is a program fee and there are scholarships available as well. So could you just explain that process too?
Yeah, definitely. So over the last couple of years, we have started to champion sustainability. So that is something that Atto is also sustainable, and all of our educators get offered a stipend to come and speak and share their experiences and everything like that. And all of the team are obviously not volunteers, things like that. So we're really looking at what our sustainable practices are. So that also led us to, do non-equity based programs and look at the introduction of program fees. These program fees are very modest in comparison to other programs. It's often less than you would pay for an online course on, some of the courseware platforms. And they really are a series of, high touch coaching, really one-to-one support. So it's not really like a course in a way. It's more about, something that's a good investment for your business for longer term. But of course, we also look at accessibility and how we can change the startup community and make sure that we're getting, great diversity, and it's not gate kept. And that's just the philosophy of Atto, which is why we've had scholarships from day one as well. So just depending on what situation is, if you'd like to check out what our scholarship model is, go to atto.vc/scholarships. Otherwise, there shouldn't be anything holding you back from, joining Atto. And we also have payment plans available if anyone needs.
Yes, amazing. There's definitely a lot of online programs out there that are far more expensive than Atto. And for the value that you get over the 12 weeks with the direct coaching that you get from Kate alone, I think is definitely worth the price for sure. And I just wanted to touch on the 100 founders that we've already supported as well, 100 plus founders that you can check out on the website. There are some that we have mentioned that have had the kind of traditional startup success where they've raised lots of funding, but there's so many more that are earning revenue and are profitable. And that is a huge success to us as well. We want to encourage encourage more female founders to build a business on their own terms as well. So we're all about scaling startups, sustainable startups, and independent startups, so founders can choose how they want to operate as well. Any final thoughts, Kate?
No, that's, I think, a really good wrap up. Thanks so much, Lana. And I'm really looking forward to this year's applications. I think it's going to be a really amazing program. And it's not going to be easy. I think, come with your sleeves rolled up, being prepared to take those next steps. But I think at the end of it, it's like gym, right? You're going to feel amazing. So make sure you get your application in as soon as possible.
Amazing. Yes. Done is better than perfect. To get those applications in now, and let us know if you have any questions. And thanks so much for joining us. Amazing.